What's up, everybody? It's Zip12, and today we're going to be playing a brand new game that I've been waiting for to come out for the longest time. That has been Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles. So this game I have been waiting to drop for the longest time, for mainly two reasons. The first reason is it's Demon Slayer. Like, the first season of Demon Slayer from the anime basically just touched my heart. Like, this is a very good anime. I just been wanting to just try out majority of the characters. The second reason is that it was made by CC2, which has the history of making the entire Storm series, and I am a big fan of the Storm series since I basically have a whole channel dedicated to it. So I have just been wanting just to play, like, it's basically like Naruto and Demon Slayer just had a baby, and this is basically what this is. So I have just been very excited to play this game. So today in this video, we're going to be going through the base mechanics of this game. So this is basically the basic guide you need for everything. So you just watch this video, then you should know everything you need to know about how to play this game. But without further ado, let's get started.
Where did you?
Alright, so let's get started with basically just describing the base mechanics of the game. So first off, we're going to talk about the hub of the Demon Slayer. So basically in the top left corner, you got your character right there. I'm playing as Tanjiro. And on the first bar, the green bar, is basically your health bar. So in this game, you fight in a 2v2. You have a partner with you or a support that you can pick, and you can fully like trade places with that person. Now, both of these characters say they have the same health bar. So anything that happens to the first character, you basically lose, basically. So you have one health bar. So going underneath that green bar, you have the blue bar. So this is your breathing technique meter, or as I call it, breathing meter. So this is how you execute most of your special attacks, your dashes, your cancels, everything. So you're going to need this. And as you can see, the blue bar is separated into 5 separate pieces. So that means that, let me turn this off so you guys can get a better look at it. Not this, there you go. So if you actually use like a special move, it takes up 20% of the full bar at one of those chunks. So it's like if I do this, then I use 3 attacks, and as you can see, it takes out 3 chunks. So the way how this bar works is this is vitally important. So let's say I am doing a combo, right? I am hitting my opponent and I use one of my special attacks. If I do nothing for 2 seconds, that bar will start refilling up. So it's like if I use my special attack and then combo them afterwards, it will start refilling up regardless of what I do, like very slowly. Now let's say I have no breathing meter whatsoever. I'm gonna use all of it right now, and then if I just stand still without moving, it automatically charges the breathing gauge. So for you to do this, you legit cannot press any buttons. You have to stand, well, all the way back if you want, and then just do nothing. And for that, then you automatically regain your breathing meter. So this is a pretty useful strategy. Like, it's not useful really, because the opponent can just dash at you and just take you down. But this is still a pretty useful thing to know, just in case. You can just stay back and then just get your breathing meter up. So the breathing meter is actually vitally important because of everything you do for damage, for staying safe. It's basically gonna go through this meter right here. Like, you cannot do anything else without having this meter up. So you kind of want to be very conservative when it comes to this meter. So you can't just use a bunch of super attacks off the bat and then just like, and then expect to be okay. Alright, so now we can move on to the switch gauge. So the switch gauge is basically that yellow bar that's right next to the blue bar. This represents your secondary character. So as you can see, there are 2 chunks of this yellow bar. So if you hold down the switch button, you can use up one of those bars to swap to your secondary character. So if I were to compare this to another game, it would be the Naruto Storm series. It is very similar like that. It's very fluent like that. And the fact that you have to hold it kind of confirms that you're swapping to a different character. Now, if you press a button, if you press the switch button, then it does a support for your character. So this is kind of similar to like Jump Force, where you have to press the button to do the supports. You have to hold it to swap, which is kind of awkward. If you are getting comboed by your opponents, you can actually press the switch button, and then your partner will legit carry you out of danger. Now this is a good and a bad. The good is it carries you out of danger. The bad part is it takes up both bars of your switch gauge. And then after a period of time, you have to let it gradually refill. So this has its drawbacks, but I don't recommend you actually do this unless it is your last option to do it, because this is very desperate, because using the switch gauge is pretty big in this game, and if you don't know how to work with it, then it's going to be a detriment to you. So now that we have the hub basically all taken care of, now we can actually start going into the controls for controlling your character. So of course you got the left analog stick to move your character. You have your jump button, your light attack button, or your basic attack button right here. And here is a very unique button that they added in this game. So they added a movement button. A movement button is like if you press the movement button just without any direction, you dash towards the opponents. Like you just straight up dash. But if you actually use your left analog stick, like, and you can go back and forth, left and right, forward, you can actually just do like a bunch of side steps. And the weird thing is, this is actually free of your breathing meter. It costs no meter whatsoever, and I think that is actually very interesting, because in most of the games that I played, the block button also served as a dodge button. Like you can kind of just block and then sidestep, but in this game you got a whole button dedicated to dashing towards your opponent and maneuvering around your opponent. So this is definitely one of the weirdest parts of this game to me. And of course, you have your block button. And the last basic button you have is your support button or your switch button, because they're both the same thing. So for these buttons, you can always go to the controller settings and then rework these buttons how you see fit. So if it doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can legit just swap everything around. Or if you play a different game, you can just swap everything around and then freely customize your controller. So that's actually very different from most of the games just like this. They never actually have the option to just swap your controls. So that's pretty good. So now we can actually go into some of the more advanced stuff, the advanced mechanics while fighting. So the first thing that we can discuss right now is the light attack. So there are three different attacks whenever you start attacking. You have your neutral combo, which is if you just mash the button and you don't move any direction, you do like just this generic combo. And then if you actually mash your attack button and move your left analog stick downward, you do what's called a down combo. All you gotta do is just keep mashing your attack button and then legit just point your left analog stick down. Just hold it down. And then the same thing goes for the up combo. Just legit just hold it upwards to send your opponent upwards while also mashing the attack button. And then of course with that, you can also attack in the air as well, and then do like a little combo right there. That's called an aerial attack. So the main difference that goes through all these combos is most of the time your down combo is your strongest combo, but it puts the opponent in a knockdown position and they have to roll around to get up. Your neutral combo, basically, you have a lot of versatility. You can swap through different people and probably do some main combos. And then your up combo sends your opponent up in the air, so you can actually do an aerial combo right afterward. So for the up combo, for you to get more out of it, you will need to use your dash button after the end to dash up in the air. So use the up combo. Then once your opponent is in the air, you can just use your dash button, and then you can go into your aerial combo. If you hold down the block button and then press the light attack button, you can do a grab. Of course, this is a unblockable attack, and there is no way to combo into a grab. You can only just use a grab like naturally, and probably just set up for it. Next button we're going to discuss is your heavy attack. So this is also very different from Storm. So this is pretty hard to describe, but in the game, I'm gonna just show it to you so you can kind of see like what I see. So in the game where it says heavy attack right here, it says quickly tilt your left analog stick and press square. I don't know why it says tilt, because that's a bad explanation of what they're trying to tell me. So I suggest a better explanation is to flick your left analog stick and press square. You have to literally flick it and press square at the exact same time to do a heavy attack. So this heavy attack is basically a super armored attack. It will go through projectiles, it will go through special attacks, it will go through light attacks, basically anything, even supports. The only thing it can't go through is probably ultimates and grabs. But this is very good for this game. Well, this is very good. But the hard part is just executing of how to do it. And that is flicking your left analog stick in a direction and then pressing the attack button. So now that we discussed all of the combos of the game, now we can discuss the combo bar. So as I am hitting my opponent, there is a colored bar next to my combo, my combo counter, my combo hits right there. So as you can see, that bar is slowly decreasing. So this is pretty unique in this game. I think this is actually a very good balancing tool. So basically how this works is, as long as that circle is still full, you can combo your opponent. Once that circle runs out, the opponent will just fall out of the combo. So this is to prevent any infinites or any super long combos or any broken mechanic whatsoever. So this is actually very balanced. So as long as you see that circle, you have time to combo. As soon as that circle runs out, then you basically they will just fall out of your combo. So there are 3 combo meters in this game. You have a red one, a yellow one, and a blue one. So the red one is basically, it has the shortest time, so you can't combo as much. Your yellow is your standard one, and then the blue one has the most time, but is usually very hard to get a blue bar most of the time. So like, for example, your heavy attack gives you a red bar. As you can see, I can hit my opponent after a heavy attack, but when the red runs out, I cannot hit them anymore.
Well done.
How to get a yellow combo bar is basically just hitting an opponent with a light attack. That's usually the easiest way of how to get a yellow combo meter. So the yellow one is very standard. Now there is a way how to get a blue combo bar, but we'll come back to that in a little bit. Now we can start moving on to your special moves. So you will have what's called a skill button. So this is basically the button that gives you your special moves. So in every single character, you have 3 special moves. Your first special move is just pressing your skill button. And for Tanjiro's, it is the 8th form Waterfall Bassin. The next one is if you move and then press the skill button, you can do a different special move. And Tanjiro's is 2nd form Water Wheel. And the last special move is when you block and then press the skill button, you do the last one, 6th form Whirlpool. So every single character has 3 special moves, and those are the inputs for those special moves. And of course, each one has different properties and different combos, so they all have equivalent levels of use. Now we can start going into the blocking. So as you can tell, you have your block button, and if you actually move, or if you hold down the block button and move your left analog stick, you do like this little animation where you turn blue. This is what's called a pushback. This literally pushes your opponent back for like a set distance, and then you can counterattack them. And as far as I can tell in this game, there is no downside into actually doing a pushback. Like, you can kind of just do this. It does not waste your meter whatsoever. It just gives you a chance to push your opponent back. So this right here is very useful, and it takes this takes like probably a whole nother video for me to describe what you can do with this pushback, because there's a bunch of stuff to do. But just right now, this is basically just, you can just push your opponent back for a set distance for you to counterattack them. And the last thing we're going to discuss with the block is the parry. So if you flick your controller, your left analog stick, and then press the block button, you go into another blue animation where it's like some sort of a counter. This is what's called a parry. As if you land this is the only way to get a blue combo meter. This is actually very I think this is where most of the skill goes into this game, because you can get this off and you can just get probably 8 seconds worth of damage right there, and that is a lot if you can get it off. So it's very hard to execute, but if you can practice this will determine your skill of the game. So just a reminder how to do the parry is you have to flick your left analog stick and then press the block button at the exact same time. So at the bottom left part of the screen, you have your special bar. So to fill up this special bar, you have to keep attacking your opponent and you have to take damage. And as you fill up this bar, you get the ability to do special abilities, and you can keep filling up this bar until the maximum level of 3. So once you have bar to work with, you basically have 2 options. You can either boost or you can either use your ultimate attack. So let's go through one by one. So your ultimate attack is basically how it really seems. It's just a button that you can use your ultimate with. Now the ultimate gets stronger the more bar you have. So if I have level 1, it's going to do basically nothing. If I have level 3, it's going to do probably like half. It's going to do probably half of someone's health bar. Yeah, look at that. That just took out 60% of my opponent's health bar by just using my ultimate art. So as you can see, a level 3 ultimate is no joke. So the other option you have is something called boost. So this is basically your awakening in this game. So right now you're only half awakened in this game. So whenever you go into boost mode, you move a lot faster and you have 10% more attack, as well as like a little finishing cutscene whenever you do majority of your attacks. So it's basically just it's just a boosted up form of your already original form. But other than that, there's no different to it. Now, if you were to take it a step further and use another boost, you hit the boost button again, you go into surge mode. So this basically is just your awakening twice. So with this, like, it's again, you get an attack buff, you get a defense buff, and then you just do a lot more damage and you're a lot faster. And there's also a big kicker too. Your special attacks take up no meter. So technically you can kind of just spam. Now, let me turn this off so you guys can see. Let me turn these 2 off. So yeah, they don't take up any meter. Like, you can kind of just spam, and you see they do a lot of damage right there. Like, they do a lot. So this form is legitimately no joke. And oh yeah, I also almost forgot to mention, you are super armored in this form. So it's like you can kind of just run through special attacks. You can run through combos. You still take damage, but you're kind of like, you have super armor. And I think that's actually kind of crazy because like this is kind of nuts. Like you can use multiple special attacks for free. You have more attack, more speed, and you can still use your ultimate. Of course, the ultimate is going to be level 1, but still though, like you can still do all this mess with an ultimate. That's actually kind of insane. Now this surge form only lasts for about 7 seconds, so your opponent can just run away, and it seems that that's the only counterplay to it. But other than that, this form is very strong. But I think that's about wraps it up for all the base mechanics of the game. My name is 12. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.